Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to the 12th episode of our Captain's Logs, which chronicles the progress of the Starship Enterprises Corporation and details orders that Commanders can follow to help as our story unfolds. After a long summer break, I am back to report on the goings-on in LP 3397. A couple of months ago, SE Corp were trying to expand, aiming to establish a presence in the Pontus system. Unfortunately, this attempt at expansion has failed. So in this Captain's Log video, we're going to delve into exactly what went wrong and what could be done better the next time. Part of our problem was that we split our time and forces between our own system and Pontus, attempting to remove the Wolf transport group to make space for our own faction to expand there. This stretched our small player base a little too thin and resulted in a double failure. Not only did we fail to remove the wolves, we also failed to even make it out of our own system. In retrospect, we really should have just focused on the expansion itself and put all of our forces into that. This time, it seems that SE Corp had bitten off a little more than it could chew. As previously discussed, our home system of 339 is really massive. And this means that the BGS is very slow and difficult to move, and the higher up the percentage table a faction crawls, the harder it is to maintain and further grow that percentage. We made it as high as 73%, just 2% away from the expansion trigger. However, by this point the influence grind had become extremely difficult, and the few players we had grinding 339 were starting to report that playing Elite was becoming a little more like a job than a game. There is of course a question here of manpower or willpower. With more players participating in our expansion attempt, the workload would have been much smaller. On the other hand, 2 players could have pushed the expansion, but both players would have had to dedicate a large amount of their time every single day to achieve this. We gave it our best shot, but we simply lacked the manpower this time, and turning Elite from a game into a job was simply not an option. It's important to remember that our group is a casual player group, and although I enjoy playing the background simulation, I do not force tasks onto our commanders. Summertime is upon England, and us Brits are scrambling to get out in the sun for the few days that we have it, so maybe it was a bad time to plan for an expansion. I am sure that we will try for an expansion again in the future, but for now, Lewis Chapman has declared system-wide holidays for all of the hard work done over these last couple of months. The silver lining in all of this, of course, is that despite our drop in influence, it is still at an all-time high, so the next time we do decide to try for an expansion, we will have less distance to grind up until that trigger. It is also clear that we will need more commanders before we try for another expansion, so I'm going to start to try and focus more on recruitment and finding newer elite players to help along the way. So guys, if you know any elite fledglings who would like a new home, then point them in my direction. I've also realised that I've become very bogged down in the BGS and trying to keep SE strong, maybe a little too much to tell the truth. I'm aware of activities such as exploration expeditions, stopping the Thargoids and community goals, but I rarely participate in these because they do not contribute to my BGS grind, and I do not want to leave my system for any length of time, and let the influence drop. So I think I'm going to try and move a little more away from the BGS in future and start to get involved in some other community activities. The BGS will still play a central role in how SE works, but it will not be the be-all and end-all of the group's ethos. In other news, I'm thinking of jumping on the bandwagon and starting a small series of videos putting forward some ideas that I would like to see in the Elite game, so expect that my next video will probably be about that. And finally, I have also managed to find a really good canyon racetrack in our system on Planet 5A, which I have named the Chaos Canyon. I will put a link to the thread with all of the details down below, so be sure to check that out. To be honest, the whole planet is pretty great for canyon racing, but I've grown especially fond of this little course and would love to race some commanders around it, although I'm pretty good at it now. Please feel free to check out our other videos, and our website, and of course subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the events and happenings of the Starship Enterprises Corporation. For now though, that's me, over and out.